we're preparing for business here, you know, strictly business, destruct and destroy.
Yeah.
Are you looking to get this done inside the distance if you can? And do you believe that if you hit him and you hit him clean, I know last time you feel that you did hit him clean, but it was ruled not so that is the past. But do you believe this time around, if you hit him clean, that you can put him away and win this undisputed heavyweight championship of the world by knockout?
Definitely, I believe that. You know, heavyweights, this is what it's all about, knockouts. And I'm just going to be 100% focused on the job in front of me. And I believe I'm going to deliver that 100%.
Daniel Dubois claims Oleksandr Usyk is washed up and vows to destroy him to force an early retirement.
Yeah, look, you're not stupid, you're not going to give me away a game plan or anything like that, but you can give us something. What will you do differently this time that you didn't do first time round?
Win.
Dubois didn't hold back when asked about his rematch with Oleksandr Usyk, boldly declaring that the Ukrainian champion is big-headed and ready to be dethroned. In a fiery build-up to their highly anticipated clash on July 19th at Wembley Stadium, the IBF heavyweight champion made it clear that he's aiming to do more than just win. For Dubois, this isn't just a rematch, it's a mission to dismantle Usyk's legacy, take every single one of his belts, and possibly retire the undefeated fighter once and for all.
I'm on a good place, on good level, and myself, physically and mentally, I'm ready to go, man.
And for this fight to take place at Wembley, how much does that mean to you?
Oh, it's amazing. It's going to be a massive event, similar to this one today. It's going to be global, worldwide, and everyone tuning into it. I can't wait. It means a lot to me.
Their first encounter, held on August 26, 2023, didn't end the way Dubois had hoped. Usyk walked away with a 9th round knockout win after surviving what many believe was a legal body shot from Dubois, which was controversially ruled a low blow. That ruling allowed Usyk time to recover, and he eventually stopped Dubois, leaving the British boxer and his promoter Frank Warren adamant that the outcome should have been different. That moment has lived in Dubois' mind ever since, and now he's more determined than ever to set things straight.
You've won numerous titles all the way since you were an amateur, but to win this fight, what does it mean?
It means the world. It means conquering everything the sport has to offer, the top of the game, undisputed. Is everything in boxing, so you know I'm gonna give it everything.
In the time since their last meeting, Dubois has sharpened both his skills and his resolve. He's kept a laser focus during training, refusing to get caught up in any psychological games or distractions. For him, the goal is straightforward: dominate and destroy. The rematch is not just about redemption, it's about rewriting the narrative that was formed after their controversial first fight.
Every day that you come here, I've said this to you before, but I do think mental preparation is a huge thing. This lovely gym, the Farm Gym in Elm Street, every time you park your car, you see Wembley Arch. You see the scene of your greatest night against Anthony Joshua. As you pull up there, do you visualise back under that Wembley Arch, and what do you see when you see it?
Yeah, it's about recreating that whole thing again, you know. We was just seeing that Wembley Arch is out there, so it's all meant to be, isn't it? Now I'm fighting that there again, so yeah, bring it on.
Dubois carries a record of 22 wins, 2 losses, and a staggering 21 knockouts. At 27 years old, he's in his physical prime, and he believes that he's discovered vulnerabilities in Usyk's game, especially following the Ukrainian's 2 taxing fights against Tyson Fury. According to Dubois, those brutal back-to-back bouts may have taken a toll on the 38-year-old Usyk, leaving him more vulnerable than ever. The British boxer has zeroed in on this point, suggesting that Usyk could be physically and mentally worn down, and that age could play a decisive factor in their second meeting.
Do you believe that he is still at the peak of his powers, Oleksandr Usyk? So if you beat Usyk, you're beating the best Usyk, or do you think there are signs that he's creaking at all?
No, I believe I'm going to beat the best Usyk there is on a night, and that's all I got to do. That's all I got to worry about, and yeah, creating history.
Presumably that's what you want as well. So you'll say when, I'll say if, but when you beat him, people say you beat the best. You know, you beat the best, not someone that was towards the end of their career. Even though he's come out and said he's got 2 fights left, you want the credit for what you're going out there to achieve.
Yeah, I'm just tunnel vision on my journey, making my legacy, leaving my mark on this sport, and worked really hard to get here. I'm not going to be denied now. I'm at the door, and I'm just going to kick it in.
However, despite Dubois' confidence and bold statements, not everyone is convinced that he has what it takes to get the job done. Former world cruiserweight champion Johnny Nelson recently gave his own take on the upcoming rematch, predicting that Usyk will once again come out on top. According to Nelson, it won't be a one-punch knockout, but rather an accumulation of consistent, smart pressure that ultimately breaks Dubois down. He pointed out that although Dubois is physically stronger, Usyk has faced and overcome bigger, stronger opponents throughout his career.
The top 5 heavyweights.
The world heavyweight landscape is completely changed massively over the last 2 years. Oleksandr Usyk is now he's in a pick and fight. I'll pick him. Might be 2 fights down the line. He's gone. The heavyweight landscape, they're looking for a new star, a new dominant figure, and it could involve Fabio. The boxing snob is out there winning now. Moses, wicked fighter, young fighters coming through. You look at how Daniel has all of a sudden his confidence has come up. We'll see how he goes on against Usyk. Again, he may shock the world. So the landscape has changed, which again, it's very hard to predict tomorrow.
Nelson emphasized that Usyk's edge lies in his ring IQ and ability to adapt. He argued that the Ukrainian has already figured Dubois out and will simply use that knowledge to dominate once again. Usyk's performance in the first fight is enough for Nelson to believe that history will repeat itself. He highlighted Usyk's strategic mind and the calm precision he brings to each fight, which often allows him to dismantle opponents who are physically superior but less refined in terms of tactics.
How much of a chance do you give Daniel Dubois in comparison to the second AJ fight, the Fury fights?
I think Daniel's performance in this fight will be better than his first fight against Usyk, but I do believe Usyk will put on a better performance and probably stop Daniel, in my opinion. Usyk has forever shown the public that let me blueprint download your blueprint and I've got your number. He beat Tyson better the second time. He beat AJ better the second time, and both fighters boxed better the second time around. So the only thing Daniel's got now, he's got unbelievable self-belief and confidence that's come since their last fight. So again, we'll just see what's changed.
Prince Naseem Hamed sparked debate with a vivid recollection of their first clash, focusing on the body shot that sparked controversy in the 5th round. According to Hamed, that punch shook Usyk in a way no other opponent had, revealing an uncharacteristic moment of vulnerability. He believes that if Dubois brings the same ferocity but avoids any fouls, he could seriously damage the Ukrainian's hopes of retaining his titles. Hamed even painted a picture where Dubois controls the fight and emerges victorious, framing him as a legitimate threat to Usyk's continued reign.
Fury, AJ next, you think both of them coming off losses? It's the fight we always wanted to see as domestic boxing fans.
Yeah, I suppose that fight is right there and everybody still wants to see it. But to be honest, we've still got Daniel Dubois, and I was sat next to Daniel Dubois.
Triple D, baby.
Triple D, baby, all day, every day. Let me just tell you this. In my eyes, for me, he's the only one. Triple D is the only one, Daniel Dubois is the only one that's ever hurt Usyk and put him down on the floor, made him think. And he was down there for like 3-4 minutes. So who's to say that once he fights Usyk again, to go out there and absolutely destroy him and bring our belts back to our country like it's supposed to be.
Dave Allen, who has shared sparring sessions with Usyk, added his insights by noting the technical brilliance of the champion, but he emphasized the evolution he's witnessed in Dubois. To Allen, the younger Brit has matured into a more intelligent and refined fighter who no longer relies solely on power. That growth, he suggested, makes the rematch far more competitive than many expect, turning it into a genuine 50-50 contest.
I think Dubois is going to beat him. That's my early prediction. I know a lot of people will obviously fancy Usyk, and rightfully so. And as much as I like Dubois and think he's getting better and all the rest of it, I'd like to see Usyk win. I think Usyk's a great fella and a great fighter, but I think Dubois will win.
Adam Booth echoed that sentiment, remarking on how Dubois has shifted from a one-dimensional brawler into a much more complete heavyweight. Booth pointed to the difficult experiences Dubois has faced, including tough fights against Joe Joyce and Anthony Joshua, as pivotal learning moments. He now sees Dubois as someone capable of thinking on his feet and executing a versatile strategy, attributes necessary to trouble a fighter of Usyk's caliber.
Adam playing out. Different to the first one. I can make much more of an argument for Dubois in this fight.
Me too.
Firstly, because he actually had success in the first fight.
He did. Do you think it was a low blow?
No.
No.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
You do think it was a low blow?
Absolutely was. If you look,
you do?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, sorry, you caught me out then with the question. If you watch, it lands low, and while it's got contact with the shorts, it actually rides up at the point of impact.
So I've no use to my argument.
But it's irrelevant because they're going to fight again.
Yeah.
Usyk won the first time, and as he said, he won by stoppage. But Daniel Dubois is a different fighter now. Fighting is 90% mental, and he is a completely different fighter mentally. He lets his hands go with freedom. He now trusts his engine because he had those rounds with Jarrell Miller that tested his engine. Yeah. So he's kind of ticked the little boxes along the way, old school style.
Ricky Hatton, a longtime figure in British boxing, has praised Dubois' rise, seeing the rematch as one of the most compelling heavyweight contests currently possible. Hatton recalled the aftermath of Dubois' defeat to Joyce in 2023 and highlighted how the young fighter used that setback to fuel his development. His victories over names like Jarrell Miller, Filip Hrgovic, and Anthony Joshua have cemented Dubois as a serious contender, in Hatton's view, and better prepared for this challenge than ever before.
Dubois, what do you make of that fight, the rematch?
I think it's the best fight. I think they're the best two heavyweights in the world, and there was a bit of controversy with the last time, which goes with the grain in boxing, doesn't it? A bit of controversy, but no, I think Daniel's got a better chance than he had the first time. Yeah, what with the win off Joshua, that his confidence is massively up. Well, when he fought Usyk last time, he come off the defeat from Joyce, and but now he's absolutely flying. He's got as good a chance, better chance than he had the first time around, I think.
Derek Chisora, who knows both fighters well from in-ring experience, offered a more cautious perspective. While acknowledging Dubois' improvement, he emphasized just how difficult it is to beat someone like Usyk. From Chisora's standpoint, it's the champion's composure and unwavering focus under pressure that continues to give him the edge. Though he didn't issue a firm prediction, his lean was slightly in Usyk's favor, based on consistent performances at the highest level.
Derek, in regards to yourself, are you going to just sit back and see what happens with Dubois and Usyk first?
Yes, because I want to sit down and watch it. So, give a shout to Daniel. Good luck anyway. You'll be fighting a guy who's very on point. So, yeah, I'll be watching.
Jarrell Big Baby Miller recently stopped by Dubois in a high-profile bout, gave credit to his former opponent for his evolution. Reflecting on his own fight, Miller noted that Dubois has grown significantly and now presents a real threat, especially if Usyk has lost a step after back-to-back battles with Tyson Fury. Miller believes that depending on Usyk's condition, the rematch could go either way, though he personally leans toward Dubois pulling off the upset.
I think he's definitely graduated since our fight. Can Dubois pull it off? I think he definitely can. It depends on how much Usyk has in the tank. If he can outwit Dubois. I think it's a great fight regardless. And the best man is gonna win. You know what I mean? I want my rematch with Dubois. I'm gonna fuck him up. But it's weird, man. Dubois is the only person that can make me want to hate him and then like him, like literally within 30 seconds of my brain, like I want to kill this motherfucking I like Dubois. It's weird. He's one of the only fighters that actually do that to me. But I realized that if you actually meet Dubois and talk to him, there's a reason why you have that love-hate sympathy with him. You know what I'm trying to say? So all power to Dubois. You know what I mean? Hopes he pulls it off in many ways and give him a goddamn rematch.
Adding further weight to Dubois' momentum, John Fury, father of Tyson Fury, gave a passionate backing to the British challenger. Having witnessed Usyk defeat his son twice, Fury suggested those grueling fights may have finally caught up with the champion. He argued that this is the moment where youth, power, and size could swing the tide in Dubois' favor, and sees this as a golden opportunity for the younger man to take full control of the heavyweight landscape.
Usyk was a lucky man. Timing was right for him. That's all I can say about that. What's done's done. But let me tell you, good luck to Oleksandr Usyk. He deserves to stay champion for a long time. But again, he's going to go on too long. And I just see now Daniel Dubois becoming a multi-belt champion soon. Because how many fights you got in you? You come up from cruiserweight to heavyweight. You got these big men banging away at you. He's only got to walk into one, and the bar's up for, and he's on a good win over Anthony Joshua. He had a good fight with the American Miller, and at the end of the day, I just think it's a young man's game and anything can happen. But you could well see a new champion in Wembley soon.
Lennox Lewis, the former Undisputed champion, also addressed the controversial 5th round of their first fight. He underlined how much that body shot ruled a low blow, disrupted the rhythm of the bout. In Lewis's opinion, it exposed a rare physical weakness in Usyk that Dubois now has the knowledge and preparation to exploit. For Lewis, that moment wasn't just about controversy. It was a tactical opening that could shape the rematch.
I'm thinking he's ready. You know, he's been through the trials and tribulations. He's the King Slayer, and he's got the power. He's been there before, so he was just there. He knocked the guy down, so he knows what he needs to do. So it would be great for him to do it. Another man do it for Great Britain. It's not an easy task, but he's definitely the man that can go through with it. He's done the work. He's gone through the pedigree, and he's a certified champion. So, you know, I think he has big hopes on doing it. He's going to do it. So it's definitely his place. He's at home. He's focused. He's determined. This is his dream. So, you know, there's nothing stopping him.
You were there that night in September last year when he took on Anthony Joshua in front of 96,000 people. Were you shocked by what you saw that night?
Not shocked. I knew Daniel had it in him. The fact that he had the confidence to go out there, even the ring walk, I could tell was pretty solid going out there. And I was very happy for him when he won, because that shot came from right field and it met its target. So I was happy for him.
Fraser Clark added a more balanced take, recognizing that Dubois is now a more mature and polished fighter. He noted that Dubois' power remains a dangerous weapon, but warned that overcoming a tactician like Usyk will take more than raw strength. Clark believes that a carefully crafted strategy and mental sharpness are key if Dubois wants to rewrite the result of their first clash, and those elements are what make this rematch even more intriguing.
It gives a lot more. It's a different Dubois, it's a different fight. I think he gives a lot more problem. I think he's got a lot more confidence. I think he's starting to realise when he hits things, things fall over. You know, if he hits them often enough and clean enough, it doesn't matter who you are, if you're Usyk or whoever else. I know he's a tough man, Usyk, but if Daniel hits you often enough and hard enough, you break. It's very simple. It's not rocket science. Saying that, I know he's in great form and that, but this Usyk, mate, he's the real deal, mate. So no one just get giddy and get too excited about Daniel, mate. We're talking about the real deal, and Oleksandr Usyk. When he needs to be tough and tough, and when he needs to be super smart, he's that as well. But I think Daniel, with the wave of confidence he's got, would cause him more problems now than he did before, definitely.
Chris Algieri also highlighted Dubois' improvements, particularly in discipline and mindset. From Algieri's point of view, Dubois is no longer just seeking revenge, but is entering the ring with greater control and composure. The changes in his demeanor and his commanding wins against top-tier opponents like Joshua and Miller are, for Algieri, evidence of a fighter who has matured both physically and mentally, something that could be pivotal in a high-stakes encounter like this.
But the narrative is much better for the Dubois rematch. You've got the fact that they fought, and then since then Dubois has been on a tear, beating guys that he was the underdog against, Ergovich, and then Anthony Joshua, of course. You know, the guy has really revamped his entire career, turned it around, gone from a guy that people saw as a quitter to being potentially the most dangerous man in the world. So you've got this narrative now that Dubois is a different guy, so this rematch will be different. Also, you have the fact that Usyk, in the ring after his win over Tyson Fury, Dubois came into the ring, challenged him, and Usyk said, Your Excellency, Turkey, make the fight with Dubois. He's a man of his word. That guy says something, there's a good chance it's going to happen. So I believe the narrative is there, you know, for this fight, obviously, and this is one of the reasons why it's being made.
Still, not everyone is convinced Dubois has what it takes to dethrone Usyk. Former heavyweight title holder Shannon Briggs made it clear that he sees Usyk retaining his belts. For Briggs, it isn't just about youth or muscle. It's about intelligence in the ring. He applauded Usyk's ability to adjust in real time, control the tempo of a fight, and stay one step ahead of his opponents. Briggs believes these qualities are what separate Usyk from the rest, and why he still sees him as the dominant force in the division.
Wow, long time. You the champ, you the champ. Let's go, champ.
Oleksandr Usyk's going to face Daniel Dubois in England and Wembley. Who do you think wins that one?
I like Usyk.
Fabio Wardley, another respected name in the heavyweight division, agreed with that assessment. Having sparred with both fighters, Wardley praised Usyk's movement, adaptability, and calmness under fire. In his view, those skills create a challenge that even a much improved Dubois might struggle to overcome.
It's still a fantastic fight regardless. Obviously, Dubois had a bit of growing since his first time out with Usyk. So, yeah, it still makes for a very intriguing fight. But I do think for the most part it's pretty much going to go the same way. Not to take anything away from Daniel and his progression over time, but ultimately I just think Usyk is a hard man to bet against at the moment.
Chris Eubank Jr. added his own support for Dubois, though his reasoning was colored by past tension with Usyk, who previously backed Eubank's rival Conor Benn. Eubank's endorsement was less about technique and more about personal rivalry, but it contributed to the growing chorus rooting for Dubois, bringing added emotion and attention to the rematch.
I saw something about Usyk saying that he thought Conor Benn won the fight. I don't know if this is true. I can't imagine that he watched that fight and thought that Conor Benn won, because it's just, I landed twice as many punches. But people are telling me it's true. If that's the truth, then I'm low-key rooting for Dubois.
Team Dubois, absolutely. Yeah.
Because that's crazy. That's really crazy to me. And I've met Usyk a bunch of times and we've always been cool, so I was kind of shocked to see that.
Teddy Atlas offered a more reflective view, acknowledging both fighters' journeys. He pointed out that Usyk's recent performances have likely been influenced by the personal and national hardships he's endured, which have sharpened his focus and resolve. At the same time, Atlas acknowledged that Dubois' psychological and emotional growth is just as meaningful. He recognized that rebuilding confidence after past setbacks is no small task, and credited Dubois for returning stronger and more centered ahead of the biggest fight of his career.
I have respect for both guys. And look, we're close to Usyk, so I'm not going to hide that. And I think a lot of both of them as men, forget about fighters, as men, I think a lot of Usyk, the man he is, what he's done really for his country, to really fight during the pressure of his country being torn apart and invaded by another country, by Russia, and to fight during those times and that going on in his country with his people, and just, like I said, just destroying what he loves. Ukraine. And I also have a lot of respect for Dubois, for the man he is and what he's become. That he fell apart in 2 fights. Yeah, different things happen, I get it, but physical things happen in the fight with Joyce and then in the fight with Usyk.
The narrative is compelling, a battle between an established, battle-worn icon and a young, eager challenger with everything to prove. Dubois believes fate is on his side. He sees Usyk's recent decisions and physical wear as signs that the end is near, and he's aiming to be the one who delivers the final blow. For him, July 19th isn't just about winning belts. It's about carving his name into boxing history by taking out one of the sport's modern legends at the iconic Wembley Stadium.